past and present. We celebrate the enrichment of Aboriginal communities around Australia. We recognise the lasting impact of colonisation and dispossession. We salute those who have fought for the rights of First Peoples. Their legacy is our guiding light today and always.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, blurtsters, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the New Blurt.
You are listening to the New Blurt. No, it's not the Los Angeles riots. It does sound a little bit when it starts. I get that. Absolutely. Hi, I'm Keely, and I hope it's still a bitch, and AKA the Kegsta, and I'm coming to you from the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people, part of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty was never ceded. Always has been and always will be Aboriginal land. We have a very, very First Nations program tonight because, in case you don't know, it's NAIDOC week, which actually started on the 7th of July, I believe. And I think it goes through, is it 2 weeks, Wencee, or 1 week?
1 week.
1 week.
It goes for 1 week.
I'm sure we should give them more than that. But anyway, and so tonight we are going to talk a bit about NAIDOC, and we're going to talk about the URIC Truth-Telling Commission, etc., because we are doing indelible Indigenous, which we haven't done for a few weeks. But now we've ticked over into July, and to be exact, the 8th of July, we're back on to indelible Indigenous. So with that being the case, tonight we've got a fantastic show. As always, we've got a bit of homework. Wencee's got to talk about what the hell corn is doing in liquor and spirits, so he'll catch up on that one for us a little bit. In Blood Around the World, we're going to be exploring the fascinating and unfortunate results of the mushroom trial in Victoria, in I think it's either Morwell or Moe. It's one of the M.
Morwell.
It is Morwell, right. I've played both their golf courses, and the Morwell one's really good.
Yes,
Moe's good too, I think, actually. Yeah, anyway. Across the pond, the USA just barely passed its latest tax rort, aka one big horrible bill. And we'll break down and see who loses out of that and see who wins. And, you'll be so surprised who wins. And get ready from a heartwarming tale from Chile about an alpaca to the rescue. So I look forward to that one. I do yourself a favour tonight, again, because we've clicked over into July. We're back into segments we haven't done for a while. And Wencee is doing the review of Cold Fusion podcast. If you don't know and haven't listened to the Blurt before, do yourself a favour. Is all about listening to best and most interesting podcasts. And we just give you a little bit of a rundown of what we've been listening to this time, because we both listen to quite a few of them. So it's a captivating listen that explores the profound impact of technology and science. And I'm totally surprised there's technology and science, because Wencee has no penchant for science at all, if you've ever listened to this show before. Plus, we'll be discussing the latest 7 a.m. potty, and that's regarding the URIC Commission, which I had mentioned at the top of the show. Indelible Indigenous, we will almost finish off with, because we are doing Joke of the Week tonight. And my Joke of the Week theme tonight will be mushroom-themed jokes. That might be slightly dark, but there you go. In our Indelible Indigenous segment, we're focusing on crucial conversations because it's NAIDOC week, as I had just said. Wencee's going to tell us what NAIDOC week is, where the history comes from, and achievements of the people that have won different awards in NAIDOC week. So I'm looking forward to that. And I am going to discuss the Truth-Telling Commission, what the findings were, what the outcomes are, and what's going to happen going forwards. Also, I've got some nice little bits of reading that you can do, and a podcast, as I am one to do, just to give you a little gift on that one. And then, as I say, we'll do Joke of the Week right at the end. So big show, lots to do. As some dude used to say in America, I can't remember who it was, but he used to say, "It's a really, really big show," and it is. It is a big show. So, with that being the case, after he said that, this is normally what he would hear, and because we have the co-hostess with the mostest, we need to do this. We always do it. I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, why not?
I
love it.
Thank you. Thank you, your royal subjects. Thank you. Love your work. Love your work. Before I get started, I do want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are recording today, the Turrbal and the Yuggera peoples. I pay my respects to their elders past and present and extend my respect to all First Nations people listening. Sorry, had a mental blank there.
That's okay. You're only live. That's fine.
Okay.
How are you, Wencee, my fine feather friend? How are you doing?
Not too bad. A little bit disappointed we didn't get a rate cut today from the RBA. Yeah.
Right. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. There's a bet on, not really a bet, but they were predicting there was a 95% chance they were going to cut it by like 0.25 basis points.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it basis points. Why don't they just say 0.25%? It's the same thing.
A 1/4% or something.
1/4%.
I don't know. They just have to complicate everything.
They do. So they kept the rate steady. So
right. Yeah. Well, the new governor, I mean, she's pretty gutless, but the thing is that I heard, so it's the other old one as well. We're not just having to go at her. The thing is that I've heard so much commentary about this, and Alan Kohler has talked about this and said there's no reason they shouldn't be cutting rates.
Did he say why?
There is no reason. Well, but yeah, because unemployment is low. Inflation is really under control.
Yeah.
It's not going through the roof. Like prices are high, but that's because they're almost artificially high by different companies, etc. But inflation isn't pushing that now. So I'm not sure what is, but
I'm guessing the fear is by reducing the rate, housing prices will go up, because invariably that will always go up when the rates go down at the moment, because they rarely ever go down. But if it's cheaper to buy, especially for the investors who already have billions of rental properties, they'll just buy more.
The only way that you can prevent that sort of shit from happening, which is just basically just not fair on people that are first home owners and they've only got a certain amount to spend and all the rest of it. And, these massive cashed up devs come in and developers come in and just buy it up and do whatever they want to do, et cetera, et cetera. It's really not fair on those first homeowners that they even should need to compete against those sort of individuals or companies or proxies or whatever. And the only way you can change that is legislation.
Yeah.
So there has to be legislation that if you already own, 2 houses or something, there's certain houses, or there's a certain cap extra that you have to pay on top, or whatever it is. But there's got to be a competitive edge for the person that's just trying to get their first house.
First one, yeah. There's got to be a limit. We've talked about it before, and excuse me, I've always said that they should just put a limit, make changes, legislate it, that you can't get any more than X amount of properties to rent out. Those who already got their properties now, you can't get any more, so that way you're not losing out on those people. But anyone trying to get into investing has a cap of how many they can invest in or buy for investment.
Yeah,
I reckon that'll slow it down. It may not reverse it, but I think it'll slow it down.
I just think there should definitely be legislation, and they should use their balls and do it. They really should. If you have a second house, you can negatively gear your second house, because obviously that's your first investment property.
Yeah.
But anything after that, you have to positively gear it, and it's up to you. And you don't get this massive 50% capital gains discount as well, which artificially puts the prices of houses up all the time.
And Labor's in a great position now to introduce that, because they tried to bring it in, what was the 2019 election, and they lost because of the capital gains and
Clive Palmer bullshit scare.
Yeah. So they tried to make changes like that,
Yeah,
but
they
then
did.
they lost the election by a landslide. So now they've got the big
No,
majority.
they didn't. No, hold on. They did not lose that by a landslide. There was a miracle election. Don't you remember? ScoMo won that by a bee's dick.
Did he? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
by
he
one
won it by a
fucking
mile.
seat.
No,
he won it by one fucking
There you
seat.
go.
That's why he got on the stand and went, "It's a miracle."
And it was a miracle that he left so soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
anyway, yeah.
But yeah, no. So they were bringing in really, I mean, all the time. So many people thought they were definitely going to win, and it was Clive Palmer spending $200 million on advertising.
Yeah,
true. That made them lose.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That big old fear campaign, like they.
Oh yeah, on death taxes and all this bullshit.
Yeah, true.
But saying that, I was listening to the Money Cafe the other day, and Alan Kohler was saying that death taxes are the way, inheritance taxes are the way. They were saying they did a who's rich list, the richest Australia list type thing, and in that top list, it was like a huge amount, like concentration of nepetism, i.e. Wealth was inherited, and that's how they got rich. They didn't get rich from working their guts out. And like say Branson. I mean, Branson actually, he had a little bit when he started, but not a lot. He did most of the stuff himself and just took lots of risks. But we're talking like a concentrated amount of people in that rich list were from inheritance.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, classic sort of stuff like Eddie McGuire. I don't know if you've seen it, but his son is on Channel 7 doing football.
Oh, wow.
And
that's just not nepotism at all.
No, that's what I mean.
Not at all.
That's what I mean. It's not nepotism at all, is it?
Yeah.
And I just find that, I really do. I find it galling. It annoys me. I know Eddie got where he got by himself, but, to be able to just, stick your son in there and, and have an unfair advantage on others. I don't even think he's that good anyway.
I was going to ask whether he's good or not, but
no, he's not. He's not a patch on what Eddie was at the same age. No, he's not as good as his dad.
Fair enough.
But anyway, enough of that because we need to do this. Oh, actually. We need to do this.
Something else first before we get to the main show.
Take it away, Wencee.
Alrighty, I think it was last week. We were talking
What's last week?
We were talking about corn and because of the beer review. That's right. And we talked, and my beer had the corn flavoring. Not that I tasted it. So the question was, are there any liqueurs or spirits that have corn? And I did find a few. A lot of them, surprise, surprise, come from Mexico. There's Abasolo el Whiskey de Mexico is one. There's Mellow Corn Whiskey, which I think was American. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this one because it's in the Mexican native language, but it's Nixta Licor de Elote. No idea what it means, but that was another type of spirit. It's a clear spirit. There's a Bowsaw Straight Corn American Whiskey. There's a vodka, Nika Coffee vodka at Dan Murphy's. That used to sell for $102 for a 750 ml bottle. And then there's another vodka, an Australian vodka called Grain Shaker. Anymore? Well, they're out of stock, so whether it's around or not, but yeah, they're out of stock at the moment. Not that I was looking to buy one, but I was just curious to see what they were worth. And Australia creates one, a vodka called Grain Shaker, and that's worth $50. So yes, there are a few. I don't know what they taste like. If anyone out there who has tasted corn spirits or liqueurs, let us know in the comments what you think. Did you like it? Was it worth it? Yeah. So that's my homework done. Yay.
Nice work on the homework, Wencee. The thing I will say about that is, have you ever tried any corn liquor ever before? Ever? Have you
No,
had any?
never.
No.
Never.
I'm not a vodka guy at all. I've never really drank vodka that I can remember.
I don't mind vodka, lime, and soda.
Yeah, it's not something I've drunk
during
much
summer,
of,
but
though. Yeah.
it's not something I would normally get or drink.
No. It is not.
No. I was just looking at our liquor cabinet and just noticing that we don't have vodka. I'm sure we used to have a bottle, but yeah.
Word around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. Word around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world.
So we've got mycelium in the title, and
what's
mycelium,
that about?
Yes, well, mycelium is fungi, is mushrooms.
Oh, I thought that was that stuff that you clean your face with in the ads. That water.
That's called mycellular.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. Silly me. Back in my box. I'll just go back to listening.
Very funny. Oh, that's funny.
I should have saved that for the joke of the week at the end of the show.
We'll get a few of those over the
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
So Mycelium and Morbidity is all about the mushroom case, which I believe you have a bit of information on one side.
I do. For those who haven't been paying attention for the last, 6 to 8 weeks, there has been a trial in Eastern Victoria, in Morwell, as you mentioned earlier, about a mushroom trial where Aaron Patterson was taken to court over the death of 3 relatives of her partner, and due to the beef Wellington that was laced with death cap mushrooms. So yeah, lots of witnesses, many hours in the witness stand. I think it was a whole week that Aaron Patterson spent in the final week of the trial, up in the witness box answering questions. Wow. Yesterday they handed the verdict, the jury, and they unanimously concluded that she was guilty on 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder, because one of the people who did eat the death cap mushroom laced beef Wellington did survive.
Is that right?
Yeah. So he was quite sick for quite a long time. Was being given the best treatment in, I think it was Austin Hospital in Melbourne. So all 4 of them got flown in to Melbourne to try to beat this, and obviously, as we now know, 3 died, one survived. So there is a podcast. We did mention it once a few weeks ago, that there's a podcast on the ABC that was talking about the trial every day. So you're getting a recap on it. So if you want to listen to all of that, you can and get more information, or you can go to the news sites and get a condensed version. But yeah, so I guess now what we need to do is turn our attention to the victims. Not that we never talked about them, but now that she's been found guilty, we now need to let the family properly grieve, because the trial's over, and it's been proven that she murdered those people. We've got to remember that the case wasn't about whether they didn't have to prove specific motive for her killing those members of the family. It was more, they only had to show intent of killing or inflicting serious harm, which is what they ended up concluding. So yeah, it's a very sad story. Did capture the world's attention.
Yeah,
a lot of interest.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it did. I was listening today, and they were saying that there was one day in Morwell that there was a cafe that was near the court that had more takings than any time ever in its existence.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, that cafe was pretty happy. Probably not too happy that the trial's over, I imagine.
Yeah, not for that reason. You don't want to make money off it. But yeah, there was a lot of, obviously, a lot of reporters from news outlets in Australia, the world. Podcasters were there, YouTubers, I think. So I think I heard that there was a couple of YouTubers there. Obviously, something to do with news telling. But yeah, a lot of media attention.
I mean, I would never, want to try to prejudice the jury in any way, but in my own mind, just reading a few things and listening to a few things, and as I've said on this show before, I know a friend of mine that unfortunately ate death cap mushrooms and was paralyzed pretty much for the rest of his life after that, which was pretty horrible and traumatic. And obviously he didn't want to do that to himself. But I had sort of said to you that you would know. And, I'm not sure what the motives are or whatever the situation is, but I would be very surprised if I'm surprised she's found guilty of murder. I thought it'd be like manslaughter. I didn't think it'd be murder, but that's full on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because I think the sentence is life. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. She faces maximum sentence of life imprisonment. There's still potential for a words escape me. When she appeal.
Oh, appeal.
For her to appeal. Yeah, for her to appeal.
Do we know if she's going to? Or?
No, I don't think that happens until after the conviction, because they go back to court for her sentencing. Right. And then at that point, I think that's when they can start the appeal process.
Yeah.
If I understand how that works.
Oh, well.
You can't appeal something that you don't know what you've been sent to jail for. Like, you know what you've been sent to jail for, but you don't know the term or anything like that. So there's nothing to appeal at the moment.
No, that makes sense. You have to wait.
Yeah. So you've got to wait for that. So
from one disaster to another disaster. And I'm not sure if anyone's heard of the OBBB, but that is the one big beautiful bill or the one big horrible bill that Orange Turd over there is.
I'd rename it to what was it? What was the OO stand for? One
big beautiful bill.
Okay, just bastard of a bill.
Yeah,
what I'd call it.
It absolutely is. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. What I thought we'd do is just really quickly go through and see if it's a fantastic bill. Now, this fantastic bill will add $5 trillion to the deficit.
$5 trillion.
$5 trillion. And they were the ones whinging about how much is spent in America in the budgets, etc. But when it's to their benefit, they do not give a shit.
No.
So we got the highest income earners, 1% to 10%. You'd be so surprised. These groups projected to receive the largest share of the tax cuts.
No, really? I had no idea that would happen. I thought, wow, okay. I'm floored.
You thought it would trickle down, didn't you? You really did. Top 1%, roughly 2.5 million people, is estimated to receive average tax cuts of about $61,000 by 2025, higher than any other income group too. Households with income over 460, more than a third of the total tax cuts are directed to those households. Mm-hmm. And the various highest income bracket, which is 200,000 households with annual incomes exceeding 2 mil, could accrue nearly half of the total tax cuts for the top 1%, amounting to approximately $500 billion over the next decade.
Wow.
The middle high income households, top 7, the CBO finds these groups would be, that's the budget office, the Congressional Budget Office over there, finds these groups will see an increase in after-tax transfer incomes. So their tax is going to go up.
Wow.
And the benefit from the permanent extension of 100% bonus depreciation. Industries reliant on fossil fuels also benefit from deregulation because they're cutting a lot of the green stuff that Biden put in.
Yeah, of course. Which we knew he was going to do because he promised that before he came into power.
There's some other stuff in here, but I'm just going to forward through that. There are a couple of wins. No federal tax on up to $25,000 in tip income for tipped workers.
Jeez, what job are you doing where you can get $25,000 in tips?
That's such a good question. Such a good question. But
Wow.
the thing is, the lowest average wage in America is absolute shit.
Yeah.
And there are some poor souls that work for tips only.
True.
And
so maybe 25,000 isn't that much.
Well, in that case, no. It's fuck all, to be honest. No federal tax on overtime pay for hourly workers. But that's only hourly workers. So if you're a contractor and you're on a daily wage and you might do a day's more or whatever, and that's over your overtime, you'll still get taxed on it. So it's only for hourly workers.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, seniors, White House states that it means 88% of seniors receiving Social Security will pay no tax on their Social Security benefits.
Okay.
So that's how he gets the 65s, 66s and over. Yeah. You're going to love this. They've increased the child tax credit, gone through the roof, actually, $2,000 to $2,200.
So what tax is that?
It's a permanently increased index to inflation benefiting over 40 million people. So it's a child tax credit, an annual one, I believe. It's going from 2,000 to 2,200.
Nice, 10% more.
Yeah, so don't spend it all in the same place.
Won't cover all the nappies that they use for the kids.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna love this. The Trump account provides a $1,000 government deposit at birth of children from 25 to 28, with tax-deferred growth for future expenses. So did you get that? The date is 25 to 28.
The date or the year?
No,
the age
what I mean is it ends from the 25 to 28. It ends in 2028. Why do you think that may be?
That's the end of his presidency.
Correct.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Wow.
And so much of this is the same shit.
Yeah.
It's all temporary bullshit. But anyway, the Defense and Border, these are the horrible ones. The Defense and Border Security sectors. I was reading before that some of the ICE, which is the freaking
I can't remember what it's
enforcement, immigration.
Cunts.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll bleep this out.
We were both on the same page there, on the same page, totally. Yeah, I think we always put a disclaimer on a video when it goes out.
We do.
Adult, so that's all right. But yeah, they absolutely are, and apparently they're getting another $45 billion.
Wow, that's not bad. Good on them. They deserve it. They're doing a great job.
And he's getting $46 billion for the wall.
Fucking hell. Bloody hell.
So what do we got? We got so millions of Americans on Medicaid. The bill changes Medicaid could lead to nearly 12 million, up to 17 million by 2034 will lose their health insurance coverage.
That's the killer. Literally, I think it will be a killer.
It will be a killer. People will die. From this bill. People will die from this bill. There's no doubt about it. It's the
people he's supposed to be helping.
Yeah.
The people on low income. I thought he was there for the people, for the common people.
Orange Turd will have death on his hands because of this bill. It will be 100% contributed to him. More broadly, analysts suggest the combination of the OBA and the 2025 tariffs would reduce resources on average among bottom 80% of the households. So that means that only 20% are getting anything out of this.
Yeah, of course.
He's
only introduced it for the for his rich mates and people who support him and bankroll his coffers.
It's just so terrible. Over 71 million people currently depend on Medicaid, so these cuts directly impact a significant portion of the population.
Yeah, it's crazy.
12 million people out of 71 million. That's a shitload of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nearly 20%.
Yeah, it's pretty big. SNAP participants, which is like a food bank type thing.
Oh, yeah.
They get like food bank sort of vouchers, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
Oh, like the coupons that they
Yeah,
use.
sort of thing. Yeah, they calculate that 4.7 million SNAP participants will lose that over the 2025 to 2034 period due to program reductions and stricter eligibility work requirements.
That's just.
And this is the part that I just hate so much. The bill phases out, reduces some green energy tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden put through, negatively impacting those benefiting from them. So even the red states who have actually got quite a lot of renewable investment happening, they're not going to get these energy tax credits anymore.
That's amazing. What a way to go backwards, honestly.
They're just fucking idiots. They really are. They really are idiots. And this is the kicker. Federal deficit. The bill is estimated to add significantly to the federal deficit. Estimates ranging from 3.3 to 5 trillion, as I said before, over the next decade, which could lead to higher interest costs for both the government and households.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just shit. Really shit.
Wow.
And this is the last bit. Most Americans are doubtful they would personally benefit from the bill, with only 24 expecting positive impact and 47 expect shit impact.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think our little 3-year-old says it best.
A bullshit.
It is a bullshit bill. That's for sure.
It is total rubbish.
Yeah.
Onto a better story.
Before I do go to that, very quick calculation on that 25,000 in tips. That only works out to about 520 a week in salary over 48 weeks. So it's not that much. I thought it was a lot, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so
that's what I said before.
Yeah, so it just pumps up your meager, shitty wage. Anyway, like you said, onto better, happy stories. Chileans are the best in the world. Yes, we are. I can say that because I'm Chilean. Pedro,
I can vouch for you because you are Chilean and you are the best. So
yes, thank you. The best Chilean you've ever met.
That's true.
I don't care if I'm the only one you've ever met, but hey. Pedro the alpaca has become an unlikely scientific hero fighting against the deadly Hendra virus, which is spread by bats. Hendra is a suburb here in Brisbane, which is right near the racecourse. So you guys have Flemington, Rose Hill, is it Sydney? And we have, it's not Hendra, but it's another suburb. I'm sure it's more famous. But yeah, it's right next to the racecourse here, which is why the virus is called Hendra virus, and it attacks humans and horses, and it's quite deadly. But scientists in Chile were researching alpacas during COVID, and what they've discovered with the alpacas is they don't actually have antibodies; they actually have nanobodies. So they're smaller than your antibodies. And so what they've discovered and got a breakthrough with these alpacas, and the one that they've been using is an alpaca called Pedro. This nanobody, which is called DS90, showed quite high affinity for the virus and successfully protected against infection in lab models. Like I said before, they're smaller than your antibodies that you find in your body, in your bloodstream. So they've been engineered to target the Hendra virus, and they've been quite effective to combat that virus in the lab. So soon they'll be developing human trials, because currently there's no vaccine for the Hendra virus. So it was a bit of a eureka moment discovery. I'll show you what our little friend looks like. we go. There is Pedro the alpaca. So he's in Chile, and so it's a collaboration between University of Queensland here in Brisbane and the what
Very
was the
cute.
university? Yeah, they are, aren't they?
I love that place.
What was the university called? Something Austral. I did have it here before. Wasn't in my notes. Universidad Austral de Chile. So that's basically
right.
Southern University of Chile. Basically
Right.
what it means. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
You're sharing the whole article, yeah?
yeah, that was the whole article. So I'll stop there now. But yeah, I just wanted to show you Pedro the alpaca. But yeah, so hopefully in a short amount of time, I don't know how long it takes.
Are they trying to breed antibodies from him and then be able to process them somehow in a lab and then somehow make a vaccine out of it that goes into us type thing?
Correct. And horses, because they're very highly deadly when you do get it. So there's a lot of bats that carry it here in Australia. And so,
I think, wasn't there a guy just recently who died because he'd been bitten by a bat or something?
Yeah. So that was in New South Wales, and he contracted the Lycera virus. Lycera?
Yeah.
Lyssa virus.
Yeah.
He got bitten by the bat about 6 months ago, I read.
Yeah.
And he was fighting it this whole time.
The thing is, though, how?
Yeah. So he must have picked it up to do something, and then it bit him.
Well, this is what I'm saying. They're fucking wild animals.
Yeah. Don't go near them. Yeah.
It's the same as any of our wild animals. Don't go near them.
Yeah. Get professionals to come in. Yeah.
And they're wild. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So
anyway.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's my blood around the world story for today.
Perfect. Superb. Brilliant. Magnificent. And with that, we're doing this.
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
When you give blood, you're more than just a blood donor. You're the lifeblood of Australia. Search Give Blood and book your donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today. Give life. Give blood.
You're listening to The New Blood with Wencee and the Kegsta. Next up, Do Yourself a Favour.
So, Do Yourself a Favour is all about best and interesting podcasts that Wencee and myself listen to at times. And I always sort of tend to be more on the sort of the art side of things, i.e. history and the arts in general, and sort of reading and politics, etc. Wencee tends to be more on the science side of things, technology, and politics gets a run in there as well, and some history as well. So it will not come as a surprise that the part one of the potty that I'm recommending is the 7 a.m. podcast, which, as the word says, 7 a.m. because that's when they put it to air, 7 a.m. in the morning. And it is a bit of cracker, and it has something interesting every day. The one thing I really like about it is the people that speak are really good.
Excellent. That's what you want in a podcast.
Absolutely. And they're very quick. They go for like 15 minutes, and you sort of go on your way and you go, oh, that was interesting. And they've got heaps and heaps of them. And sometimes it's just news of the day, but not always. And I tend to steer away from those ones. I tend to go to the ones that are actually telling a little story about something or something they want to talk about. And the thing they wanted to talk about just recently, and it totally goes with our theme of NAIDOC week, is the road to Uruk. So they have a part 1 and a part 2, and the links will be in the show notes as always. You'll be able to download those, and I highly recommend that you do. It was from July the 2nd. Sorry about my sniffing. It's not Coke. It's just COVID's a bitch.
The other C word.
Yeah, the other C word. Apart from Trump. The other C word.
Trump and his cronies.
Yeah.
The other C word.
The other C words.
Too many C words.
Too many C words. Correct. For generations, First Nations people have called for truth-telling process so their stories can be heard. Victoria, for the first time in Australia's history, that's finally happened. For the past 4 years, the Uruk Justice Commission's been gathering testimony of thousands of Victorians to put on the record the truth about the state's history. I'm not going to say any more than that about part 1. Part 2 that's the road to the Uruk Commission, which I will discuss in Indelible Indigenous later. And then part 2 is the truth being told, what the outcomes will be, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're interested in First Nations, I highly recommend part 1, part 2, 7 a.m. podcast. As I say, the link will be in the show notes. So there you go.
Excellent.
Blood stars, probably 4.
4. Okay. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And even if you're not interested, be interested because they are our culture. It's their country and they've been here for 1,000 years. So just be curious.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
You'll learn something.
That's right. As Wencee just said, curious, absolutely. Keep asking questions because they're more than happy to give you the answers, and they're more than happy to help. They're more than happy to sit down and explain. I've just read a book called Warra Why, which was really, really cool, very eye-opening. All about Captain Cook's voyage up the East Coast, and he wasn't captain then; he was lieutenant. He wasn't a captain until he went back. But we do have captain on a lot of the statues around, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really interesting because that's all about truth telling, and it's really interesting when you do get the truth be told, because many things when we grew up we weren't told about how Cook spent time with the First Nations, and he actually had not a bad relationship with them at times, and then some other people came and they were assholes. And there's so much in there as well about how there's stranded individuals have come through on a boat and they've been shipwrecked, etc. And they've gone to live with the Indigenous. And there was one guy that lived with the Indigenous, I think, for 17 years or something.
Wow.
And they, they didn't try to kill him and whatever. They looked after him. And, just so much mythological bullshit, etc. And, the more and more they were with these people, the more and more they respected and understood their culture and the sort of the intelligence and the way they could articulate the stars for such a long time, et cetera, et cetera. And they've done heaps of studies that the way that they looked at the stars is exactly the same way that Captain Cook was looking at the stars, et cetera, et cetera. And they had different implements to do it, and et cetera, et cetera. So, it's really, really good. Warra Why. There you go. You got another gift from the New Blurt there. It's a fantastic book. I will put it in the show notes. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'll put the author, et cetera. And you can get it from your library, which I highly recommend that you do get it from your library. I did put
those links in a previous podcast when we talked about it about a month ago. So, I do know the book. I haven't got around to a library to join up again because I think I've lost my card, so I should do that. But yes, do yourself a favor. Go do it. Absolutely. Go read a book.
Yes. Well, it's part of my life every single day. I must read before I go to bed. I have to. So
excellent.
There you go, my friend.
Alrighty. I'm going to bring to you a podcast called Cold Fusion, and no, it's not about nuclear reactors, although one episode that I did listen to is about nuclear reactors. So this one is by a guy of the name, who goes by the name of Dagogo Altrade, who's got a very Aussie accent, but I'm not too sure where that name comes from, like what
You love to
nationality.
pick the podcast that you can't pronounce the hosts.
I do. To go with my name. So I like picking up names that are very unique, which this one definitely is for me.
Well, yours is Wenceslas, isn't it?
Wenceslao is my full name.
Oh, Wenceslao.
Yeah, Wenceslao. So, yeah, so this one is Dagogo Altrade, and it's a YouTube-first media company that produces high-quality content exploring the impact of technology, science, and business on humanity. It is a podcast as well. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you find your other potties.
It's good that it's a podcast. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very good for this segment.
Exactly. So if you do watch it on the YouTube channel, you get to see the visuals of what he's talking about, but you don't have to watch it to understand what they're talking about. So I have listened to several podcasts. One of them was called "How China Won the Thorium Nuclear Energy Race."
Oh, wow.
And he goes into detail of how China used declassified US information from the 50s, I think it was, because America after World War II started looking into that after dropping the bomb in Japan. So they did start looking at thorium as a nuclear fuel. But then they abandoned it because they didn't have the technology or anything like that. So this technology sat there, or the idea sat there for decades, and then China's picked it up and they've run with it because all that information was declassified. So the Americans were with the Chinese decades ago, helping them out. They're helping each other out. So in this podcast, they talk about...
Those were the days.
Those were the days, exactly. So the podcast talks about that relationship, how the information was used by China. It goes into some detailed information about how thorium reactors work. And if you're watching it as well, you can see the diagrams and videos and stuff like that. And now they've potentially made some breakthrough. They've created a very small nuclear reactor made from thorium. It's a lot cleaner. There's no bad chemicals or fossil fuel as a result of the reactor. So it's definitely a cleaner bit of energy. And you only need, I think it was about 200 times less thorium than uranium to have infinitely more energy come out of it. So it is completely efficient. So there's more than enough on this planet to create energy that could last you hundreds of thousands of years. That's how bountiful.
And what is the waste product like? And
I can't remember.
Is there a waste product? What goes into it? What's used to make the energy? Are we using a lot of water or?
No, so they use a thing called molten salt. Yeah, so it goes into more detail. It's a thorium molten salt reactor.
I'm definitely going to get onto this. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and then there was another podcast another episode called "The Moment America Changed Forever." That goes into the details of Bill Clinton when he formally requested China to join the World Trade Organization and then signed the bill to let them in. Because for decades, when after World War II, America and other allies created the World Trade Organization to cooperate in trade, but kept China out because of the Cold War.
Yeah.
But then in 2000, Bill Clinton let them in with great promises that it's going to be great for America and it's going to be good. But then Bernie Sanders in the early years and even before it got signed was saying, no, it's going to be bad for America because all the jobs are going to go to China because of cheap labor. And lo and behold, within a decade, it all came true. Yeah. And you see what the fallout is now.
Yeah, but the difference is, though, Wentz, they in America, and we'd be the same. We won't work for what they work for in China. So
No, but those jobs, those cheap labor jobs, were there in America in manufacturing before the bill. So all the manufacturing was being done in USA.
Yeah.
Levi jeans, they go through the example of Levi jeans, where they were proudly made in America. If you bought a pair of Levi's, you knew it was made in America.
Yeah.
But they were still sold at a decent price. But when they shipped them to the manufacturing in China, everything shifted, and then all the big companies went there and things like that. So there's not much made in America. Same as in Australia, we had a manufacturing industry for a long time, and then we got rid of it to the detriment of jobs and technology. And obviously China's benefited from the technology and things like that. There's other episodes as well. There's one about Apple intelligence and how unintelligent it was, and whether that's a sign of internal division in Apple.
Chase to talk about that all the time.
Do they?
Fact, they went nuts about it this morning. How completely shit Apple is.
Yeah. So
Siri's not Apple. Siri was another company.
Yeah, exactly. So this podcast goes into the origins of Siri and all the internal divisions since.
Yeah, I'm definitely listening to this. This sounds very, very good. So what would you give it out of Blood Stars? How many
of
Blood
the
Stars
3 that I've listened to so far? I would give it a 4.2.
Okay,
4.2.
That's
it's really good. Really good listening. Really enjoying it.
Anything over 4 is worth having a listen. So.
Yeah.
Something else worth having a listen.
Okay, as we've got in the background, and I have in the background here on my wall, a poster for NAIDOC Week, which, as you said at the start of the show, runs from the 6th of July to the 13th. It stands for National Aborigines and Islanders Day Observance Committee. It goes back nearly 100 years from the origins from the Day of Mourning in 1938, and then it became... initially, it was a day of protest, then it evolved into a week-long celebration in 1975. But it's all about enriching Australians of their culture and their contribution before white settlers and after, of course, as well. This year's theme is the next generation: strength, vision, and legacy. So strength, honouring the resilience and fortitude of the Indigenous communities. They've gone through a lot. The boys got defeated
of the year,
for example. Yeah, exactly. Vision, looking forward to a future shaped by their aspirations and their leadership of the young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to move on the legacy of the elders.
They've got some real firebrands.
They do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of women in particular.
And the other theme is legacy, reflecting on the enduring impact of the ancestors and the importance of preserving their cultural heritage. But as they do every year in NAIDOC, they have awards for Indigenous people who've done activities in the community. So I just want to quickly just show you. I won't have time to go through all of them. But here we go. So we've got here Best Creative Talent Award went to Christine Anu, who's a musician. I'm sure she does other things, but she sung My Island Home.
Yeah,
if memory serves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great voice.
Do you know, I think she did a cover of that. I don't think that was an original by her. I always thought it was, but I don't think it was. I think it was an original by there's a Torres Strait Island band. It could be the Wurundjeri band or something.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they wrote it, and then I think she did a cover. Now, I could be totally wrong. If anyone's heard me say that and they know the truth, that'd be good. And I think that's right, though. I think that's right.
Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe you're giving yourself some homework to find out.
Yeah, bastard.
Who else have we got there? We got the female elder of the year, Auntie Rosalie Kickett. She was recognised for her leadership and dedication to community well-being. Education award went to Professor Eddie Cubillo. Male elder was Uncle Harry Philip Hall.
What did they actually do? Do you know what they actually did to get these awards type thing?
Yeah, so Christine, I know, obviously creative industries.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Michael Long has just been there for so long.
Yeah, he has. I'll get to him in a minute. Who else have we got? Eddie Cubillo. He has not those notes. These notes over here. Where is he? His leadership in legal reform and Indigenous justice.
Oh, right.
As well. So he's done a bit of that. Obviously, education that falls under as well. Black Brews is a tea company business, and they've got the support of Gordon Ramsay. So he's been mentored by, well, it's a couple, and they've been mentored by Gordon Ramsay.
Very cool. Very cool.
Uncle Harry Philip Hall, I think I did mention him.
Yeah,
Dr. Daniel Hunt, Person of the Year 2025.
Oh, wow.
He is a West Australian general practitioner and dentist, recognised for his impactful work in the health sector. Did you get it? Did you get the pun?
Yeah, I got it.
I didn't get a buntish or anything.
God.
Come on.
Keep going.
Sports Person of the Year went to Danielle Ponter. There we go. Thank you very much. Long overdue that. Who else did we have here?
You had Mr. Michael Long because you were going to come back to him. But before you do, what about Auntie Rosalie Kickett? Because, I mean, gee whiz, there's been so many Kicketts that have played the AFL. She's got to be part of it.
I don't know.
She'll have to be related somewhere down the line.
Yeah, let's have a look. Miss Kickett. Is she related to the Kickett family? No, she's worked in Acacia Prison, dedicated life to empowering Aboriginal people, most recently incarcerated, extensive experience in mental health and counselling, travels across Australia. She's been doing this for over 40 years.
Yeah, she sounds like a gun.
Yeah.
They all sound like incredibly deserving winners, no doubt.
Yeah, and Michael Long, like you said, AFL legend, Essendon, I think it was. He played for.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
for a long time.
I
didn't realise he was a descendant of Stolen Generation parents. But yeah, I'll put the notes, the link in the show notes. You can click on each of the people, and you can get their story.
Oh, nice, fantastic, beautiful. Well, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to have to fly through this, which is terrible. But I have spoken a little bit about the Europe truth-telling so far. So anyway, the Europe Truth-Telling Commission has just handed down its final report. And this is a report that was all about the truth-telling by the First Nations in Victoria. And it's one of the first, I believe, and only maybe, commissions in Australia at the moment. Definitely that's got an outcome anyway, from that perspective. I know there was a truth-telling commission happening in Queensland, but I believe that's now been put on hold.
On hold or killed?
Killed, I'd say, yeah, because
with this government.
Yeah, you've got such a genius up there, so that's pretty terrible. And but we're a little bit more progressive down here, which is good. A lot of people get a bit upset about it.
Move back to Melbourne.
Yeah, but then when I tell you it's 7 degrees, you get upset.
Yeah, true. That is true.
But anyway, I'll be quick with this. But the links will be in the show notes, and there's a little movie in there, etc. So we just don't have time for that, but because we'll bang in a quick joke of the week after this. But this is really, really important, and the links, as I say, will be in the show notes, and we may even approach this again in another segment coming up and give it a bit more time. But anyway, what was happening from the Commission was there was an urgent redress for monetary compensation, tax relief, restitution of traditional lands, waters and resources, interests and redress for cultural loss, education, housing, health and land rights. And First Peoples, the impact and reception. There's a First Peoples Assembly of Victoria now. I don't know if they've got this around Australia at all. They do in Victoria, and they've had a lot to say in this commission. And the Uric Justice Commission, meaning truth in Wamba language, was established in 2021. And it's got Royal Commission powers to investigate the injustices faced by Indigenous people since colonisation. And findings recommendations lay crucial foundation for more than just an equitable future for Victorians. So there was an outcome, and I'm just getting to that. Just know we're pressured for time, so I'm just trying to bang that through, but that's obviously just not happening. Oh, here we go. So the two final reports have been publicly released today, and this was done on what day? 1st of July. 1st of July.
A week ago.
Yeah. But I wanted to hold it off and so we could do it for NAIDOC because I thought it would make sense to do that. So, as I say, among the recommendations, we talked about that economic loss, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not a massive article. We just don't have a lot of time. But what it has come up with, and as I say, there is a great little video, which is Victoria's First Peoples Assembly ready to negotiate a treaty. So we're going to have a treaty in Victoria as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool.
Awesome.
So the opposition leader, Brad Batten, attempted to draw a comparison between the request and failed 2023 Voice to Parliament referendum. Premier Jacinta Allen said on Monday it would simply be a matter of ensuring work Assembly has been doing since 2018 would continue. So we've got a nice little racist opposition leader here in Victoria, which is nice.
Great.
So,
taking over from Dutton, is he?
No, the Liberal Party down here are totally fucked. I mean, they're suing each other. Yeah.
That's right. They were prosciutto,
yeah,
whatever his name was.
Yeah, prosciutto. Yep. Prosciutto is going to be hung, drawn, and quartered basically, as prosciutto should be.
Yeah. He's
being sued by Maura Dima, who is a shocker and a right wing, whatever she thinks she's not, she is.
Oh, she was anti-trans lady, wasn't she?
Correct, and she allowed Nazis to come to a rally, etc.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Prosciutto said, "Nah, don't think so." And then she did him for defamation, and because defamation laws in this country are terrible, and one day we might discuss them on the show. She has been able to sue him, and apparently she's getting a recompense of like $1 million or something. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Because Prosciutto is a lot better than her. So
I'm sure that's saying something.
Oh, well, absolutely.
I'm sure he's pretty bad regardless, but
yeah. Well, he's not a terrible guy. He's not like Brad Batten. Brad Batten is. He's a dickhead. But Prosciutto's not. So that's a real shame that is going to happen. But anyway, so Miss Allen said the government was carefully considering the reports. They shine a light on the hard truth and lay foundations for a better future for Victorians. Victoria's truth-telling process is a historic opportunity to hear the stories of our past that have been buried. These are stories that all Victorians need to hear. Very, very true. And Jacinta Allen said the other day, not that long ago at all, that she never knew how many massacres were in Bendigo, and which is her hometown where she came from. And she's about my age, so I don't blame her for not knowing that. She probably hasn't read as much First Nation stuff as I have, so I know how many massacres there are all around the country, and it's just, oh my God, seriously. Palm Island, oh my goodness gracious me. The amount of massacres on that island is just, oh my God, so bad. Yeah, it is. It's really, really, really sad. But something that is not sad is And since we've been a pretty heavy show tonight, we probably should definitely do this. I think.
Lighten up the mood.
Yes. I'll cut a bit of some other stuff.
Pokey.
Now it's time for Joke of the Week.
Yeah, I'll probably cut some other stuff out because we're already 5 minutes over, so we have to find those 5 minutes somehow.
Screw you, Substack. Why do we have to be under 1 hour?
No, it's bullshit, isn't it? I totally agree. It's just total shite.
Anyway, on to the jokes.
Yeah, joke it up, buddy. Joke it up.
Okay, who's going first?
You can go first. That's fine.
What kind of vehicle does a mushroom drive?
Oh, you did go down the mushroom. Okay.
Yeah, I thought I'd go down mushroom path.
Nice. I'm not sure. I don't know.
A spores car.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I like that. Give me a second. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll cut that one out.
Yeah. You've marked it, I imagine.
No, I haven't because I'm off screen.
Oh, okay. Well, mark it when you can.
Yep.
Why did the mushroom break up with his girlfriend?
No idea.
Because she was always taking him for granted. That's bloody terrible.
That's a bit hard to say.
That is just shocking. That should be. I reckon that's terrible.
All right. Why did the mushroom go to school? Oh, didn't hear that one coming.
All right. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear the boom, boom, boom until I started talking. But anyway, why did the mushroom go to school?
I do not know.
To get a little more room for growth.
Very good. Very good. What the? I'm really not sure. Oh. I must be a bit of I don't know, a bit of lag or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. But anyway, I'm gonna have to cut a lot. But anyway, what made the mushroom forager such a good person?
He was a fun guy.
Not bad. He had good morels. That's
What's that? What's morel?
Morel is a mushroom. Morel
is it? Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh well. Where did baby mushrooms grow before they were born?
I don't know.
In the mushroom.
That's cute. I like that. Why did mushroom? No. Knock knock. Who's there? You say who's there, don't you?
Yeah. All right, let's start that one again.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Fun.
Fun who?
Fun guy. That's so
that was
obvious.
Fun. Yeah, it was very obvious.
Terrible. She's shocking. Anyway, this will be your last one and then my last one, and then we're out of here because I have fun 7.5 minutes.
Oh no. Why? I'm going to finish off almost the way I started. Why did the mushroom go to the doctor? I
do not know.
Because he had a spore back.
That's terrible. That is just shit. Okay, why are mushrooms such good storytellers?
Because they're fungi.
Because they have a lot of captivating tales. That's just terrible. Shocking.
That is terrible.
Oh
Definitely
my god,
honest.
They were. I'd give you a drum roll, but I'm gonna have to cut that out as well.
Oh dear. Good show. Love the show as always.
Yes, it was. It was an excellent show, no doubt about it whatsoever, people. That is your lot, and as I said, I have to cut 8.5 minutes out of the show, which is going to be fun.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much. Stop talking. So if you've been listening to this on the pod, it would have already been cutted. I'll cut that too. Something else to cut. On the pod, and I hope you enjoyed it. We've had a fantastic time bringing it to you. I am the Kegsta.
And I am Wencee.
He is indeed. And I say a good night, and we will see you very soon.
Till next week.